Hello there, welcome to Heart Explain Therapy, and I just want to highlight a few stories and tell you the psychological explanations of these stories on a deeper level, which the media always fails to sort of represent, or maybe they don't even know that it's really happening, I don't know. But I want to talk about the Texas storm at the moment, and there's two horrible stories that have come out that are just horrendous. There's one about the mayor who's written this Facebook post that says everybody needs to fend for themselves and stop being lazy and stop expecting the government to save them and give them handouts. This is when Texas has been in a 3-day storm, or I think they've had the storm for longer. They've been in a 3-day blackout with no electricity. People have been freezing to death over there. Lots of deaths already because of this storm. And he's actually resigned now because of this badly, very, just a big mistake, this Facebook post. And then also a recent the East Texas senator went on a tropical holiday during this awful event, and now he's come back with the tail between his legs apologising for taking a holiday. And I just want to talk about the psychology of what's going on in all the different dynamics, really. You have two idiots in powerful positions, and I mean idiots as in, like, they're not idiots as in they haven't got education. I'm sure they're both very well educated, but they obviously lack a conscious sort of connection to reality, which you could argue is sort of a 50% common sense and 50% just having a heart and giving a shit about other people outside of their own little circle of life. They have a real lack in clever communication skills. So do I. But basically, they should have personal assistants who advise them not to take tropical holidays because of the way this is going to be perceived to the people who are suffering. And I also want to tell you about a psychological idea which is quite hard for many people to swallow, and that's, given the opportunity of these two people, if you had their lives, if you had their experiences, if you had their consciousness, you would do exactly the same as them. And this is something that isn't highlighted. We often can't wait to go out there and hang certain people out to dry, as if flawed human beings don't exist. Now this instantly makes you feel uncomfortable because you think that I'm defending their actions. I'm not defending their actions. I'm telling you the psychological reasons why you do that same action every single day. You only care for yourself, primarily. Maybe this goes out to a certain set of people around you, but if a fear comes up in the way of doing something that makes you more uncomfortable, that makes you more uncomfortable than protecting someone else, you always will just do what you want to do to look after yourself. Now, why this is important in stories like this is that 99% of us have to understand that we're unconscious beings just trying to protect our own ego, identity, basically our physical health. We're just trying to do what's right for us. 99% of the time, 99% of us are doing this. Now, if we can accept this, we can expand our awareness and view it in other people, and we don't have to hang them out to dry. What we could have is a lot of people who make mistakes, learn from it. We can tell them why they're wrong, accepting all our own flaws as well, and saying, look, we do that exactly the same way. If we had your opportunity, of course we would take a tropical holiday with our children, because you wouldn't really give a shit about the whole of Texas, would you? Who does? But it's morally wrong for these role models and these people in power to act the way that we act, and that's contradictory. So we can't all act like that forever. you see how society is acting like that for an entirely long time, and this is actually embarrassing. To call us intelligent human beings is actually embarrassing, because we don't even know that we're all just unconscious people with flaws that make mistakes every day. You only do what you want to do based on fears and how it makes you feel. So the big lesson in this specific incident and every other incident, we had this recently with a politician in the UK who made a mistake. I think he went somewhere up north in the very first lockdown, and the paparazzi were walking around him saying that he had broken the COVID rules, whilst they weren't wearing face masks. They was all within a metre of each other, and they was making the same mistakes that they made the headlines of this politician making. And we have to highlight that we are flawed human beings, and if we do that, we can grow, expand our intelligence, and turn into the role models that we promote into the world as if we believe it's going to exist. And unfortunately, these role models that we do believe in are sort of role models of anybody who's got money or have got loads of apartments, or anybody who's wealthy. We see these as pinnacles of the 21st century, when it's actually quite damaging, because it's that egoic mind that causes the unconscious selfishness that we all say is bad. So that's just a deeper view of these two stories. We wish that the blackouts in Texas caused by the storm had a better service, as in a better reactive person who can help and say they will be there, and can be sort of, can say speeches that just make you want to stand up and help your neighbours. And this is what we want to do. We want to all get together and help each other, and we can. There's a street where you can have 10 people who live in a street. 4 of them can have heated swimming pools any time of the year they want, because they are wealthy, and a couple of neighbours might never have the electric fire on even during the winter because they're so poor. So we definitely have to balance the wealth of anybody, and we have to get more intelligent to understand that as an individual we are all selfish human beings, and the only way forward is to get clever, to get sort of an IQ that's high enough to understand this information, to not hang people out to dry, but to understand why they continuously do such awful, stupid things, even with personal assistance. And then we can say, how can we grow, get bigger as a unit, as a system that works together to become consciously aware that we don't have to be selfish. We have to share wealth that improves health of the majority, because the majority is everybody, regardless of all the systems and the class differences. And this is never highlighted in the media, but it's the lesson to learn, rather than, oh my God, have you heard about this person who's done this Facebook post, or have you heard about this person who went on holiday? And you're talking from a perspective like a judgment that you have never done something just for you, to help you and your family. You've never sort of gone against anybody just to help you out. That's not true, is it? And we can learn from why we're like